gets
Look
it.
at how he gets in the
trying
box.
to zoom it.
Oh, my God.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Bro, get out of here. What the fuck are you wearing?
What's up, y'all? How was your weekend? Don't care. I had a wonderful weekend. So, let's get this show on the road.
Bro, honestly, bro, we're not gonna do this with you.
I'm not doing the show like this, bro.
What do you mean? Barca won during the weekend. Spain won the World Cup. I'm celebrating.
Spain can stay, but the jersey gotta
Come
go,
on,
man.
bro. It's not even a Messi jersey, bro. I'll take that off.
Nobody even on the team is on that jersey, bro.
All right. I'm not going to take this slander, but for you guys, just to do the show, I'm going to take it off, okay?
Bro, I've had it up to here.
Bro, I've had it up to here.
What you mean?
Bro,
What is the problem, guys?
what
Why?
are you wearing, dog?
I'm sorry that my team decided to win their games this weekend. Houston won 5-0 against Portland. I'm sorry for Cincinnati and D.C. Can we do the show now?
I'm not doing the show.
I'm not.
doing
There's
the
still
show.
6.
I'm about to walk out, bro.
Please.
All right,
right behind you.
Fine. I'll change. Can we just do the show now after this?
You get one more try. One more.
That's it.
All right,
We're going to Chipotle.
All right.
that's fine.
Get some food, man.
Yeah.
Guys, come on.
Whoa.
Is it?
This is it.
This I can do.
You sure?
That's a one.
There's no more underneath this.
Nothing. Are we happy?
Let's get this show started.
Let's get the show on the
All right,
road.
let's get the show.
Chipotle's on you though.
Welcome back to the World Class Show, guys, and life is back to normal. I'm Ricky,
This is Gabe.
Jalen.
and wow, what a weekend I had. Woo! You guys had a good weekend?
Bro. I'm about to walk out this. I swear.
Chipotle?
Bro, like, what? Bro. This man, bro. Last week he was stressing, going
Crying.
bald, crying, like, but my dear Barcelona's not what it used to be.
Well-
and now look at this, bro. Like a complete 180.
Who let this man win it?
But now you
Bro,
know.
I
But
don't
that's when
understand.
you know Barcelona watches our show because they saw my video. We went viral.
Of you crying, going like a
they're
little,
like-
They said, oh, we need to fix this.
little
For
cry
Ricky.
baby.
And look at that. It's a whole different Ricky. We got Barcelona winning. I got my team winning the World Cup, Spain. Appreciate Spain. And then also Houston Dynamo. And then
Finally got some goals.
About time.
Look at
Not a
that.
penalty goal. No penalty goals.
Surprised the whole MLS.
I'm just happy, bro. I had a good weekend of just winning games. And then my boy Messi. This is one I feel like we can agree on.
Oh, 100%. That's the only thing we can agree
the
on.
only thing.
Messi
Messi.
winning the Leagues Cup. But we'll discuss more about that. But what do you guys want to start off? I say we start off with the World Cup this
Yeah,
year.
Let's do it.
biggest tournament first.
I'm gonna be honest though. I didn't watch any game.
Any game of the tournament?
No.
It was tough. It was tough. I ain't gonna lie. Like it was tough. Like the time change, or the time difference.
Yeah.
It really made it hard and difficult. And then us living in the U.S. Once the U.S. gets knocked out, attention seems to like dwindle a little
Yeah.
bit. If it were in a different place where I could have watched it a little bit more comfortably, time wise, I 100% would have paid attention because the highlights that I saw, I mean, the level is rising and it's looking really good for soccer as a whole sport, but especially women's soccer.
Women's soccer, yeah. I did catch quite a few games just because.
So you're a night owl, bro. You be out.
Yeah, insomnia.
Vamp.
Yeah. Was it in the background or were you while you're playing Apex or what was going on?
I mean, some nights it would be like I'd be playing Apex and I'm like, there's a game on. Pop Mob will hit my phone. I'm like, oh, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So I'd normally just like that'd be my cue. I'd turn it on, lay down, watch TV, like lay down, probably fall asleep. But there's a lot of good quality. As I was telling you guys before, tournament started and everything. Like women's soccer has really picked up as far as like talent and technique goes. Of course, there's still a long way to go, but I think what it was and what I've seen so far was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it. I knew from the start I was going for Spain just because of the quality that Spain has. Like Barcelona, the women's Barcelona team, like they've been winning back-to-back La Liga titles by like numbers, and then also they won the Champions League. It's like, come on, like you kind of have to put two and two together. Like Real Madrid, the women's Real Madrid is also doing well too. So it's like it's almost the same way as back in 2010 when Spain was dominating not only in international football, but like in club football. Like Barcelona, Real Madrid, they were just dominating the whole time. So it's like you kind of have to think, all right, I think they're gonna win the World Cup. So to me, that's why I was happy to just fall asleep and just be like sleeping with a smile on my face because I knew my team was gonna be winning every single game. Now I'm not gonna lie, when that Japan score 4-0, that shocked me.
When I going into like the World Cup, the 4 people I thought were gonna make it to like the end before I got to see like the grouping and everything, I just thought it was gonna be Japan, USA, England, and Spain. Like those people are like probably top quality at the moment. So I personally wanted USA to win just because why not have a 3-peat, you know what I mean? But clearly you can see the rest of the world catching up as far as talent goes. And I think that just makes it all more exciting. Yeah,
I'm happy that the world is just catching up too. And it's always good to just see a different team win the World Cup, and just deservingly so. Like, I just think with the USA team, like I think they just got their tactics wrong this time, and a couple injuries did make me feel doubtful for them. Like they had a lot of injuries that were like key players that were injured that I'm like, okay, I don't really trust this USA team. But seeing how they developed in that World Cup, I do feel more confident with them the next World Cup. And seeing what coach they go, I think they might go for the coach that was coaching England this year. She might make that transition to the U.S. women's national team, but whoever it is, I think that whoever's going to take that role will have a good team that's going to go into the next World Cup and the Olympics and the She Believes Cup. I think that's going to be a good role for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that can stomp the U.S. and now with with all due respect to Megan Rapinoe, right? But now
Rapinoe.
Thank you, Megan Rapinoe. Sorry. Her retiring is going to allow other players to kind of step up. I think that's been something that's been stumping the U.S. women's national team. Is just like having those older players that you got to give them their spot. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to play. But, now with hopefully in 4 years' time having these, new age players coming in and having more experience in club football, because they have a lot of like young talent that most of them have been, this is their very first World Cup ever.
Yeah.
So now having more experience on the pitch, I think they're going to have a much more, not saying that this wasn't successful. Obviously to them it wasn't because they didn't win it, but they're going to have a much more successful World Cup than this year, for sure.
Yeah. I got a question. Speaking of World Cup in general, like I was talking to somebody the other day about like, how would you feel if the World Cup was every 2 years instead of every 4 years? Like, granted, you get rid of some other minor tournaments to kind of leverage like workload on the players, but how would y'all feel? Like, would you want to see that every 2 years, or do you think that having it every 4 years kind of builds that anticipation?
I think for me, it builds the anticipation. 4 years, and I appreciate it more when it comes to like the World Cup happening every other 4 years rather than 2 years, because I think that's maybe it just kills the momentum of the World Cup being so commercialized. So, and I think that also puts a toll on the players throughout the season too, like because the World Cup is the World Cup, like that's the number one prize in all of football, so they're going to go all out, and so you put that in every 2 years, these guys are going to be retiring a lot sooner rather than later if you catch not just retiring overall in football, but like retiring from the national team, because they just won't be able to do 2 teams at once, you know what I mean? So I think for both marketing and then also for the players' health, I think it would be best just to keep it at 4 years.
Yeah, I think 4 years is just better because of the fact of like the hype behind it. Like I think 2 years, the hype will definitely die down. I mean, but the Champions League is every year, and you get hyped for it every year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So there's like that counter argument. What I would say is, and it doesn't really have to do with player health, because you said you would take out another tournament so that way they're not playing as much. Like I would take away the Nations League, the CONCACAF Nations League and the UEFA. That has no merit for the players,
especially if you're doing World Cup sooner.
So like if you're doing World Cup sooner, then on paper. A World Cup is much better than a Nations League, but then would the World Cup turn into kind of like a Nations League type stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like the 4 year deal.
I think
the Nations League is every year though.
It is every year, but you would take that. That's the one that I would take away give way. To make sure that they're not playing. I don't know. It's just like No, I would just rather have it 4 years.
Every
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always torn because I think the only reason I liked it every 4 years was because I felt like it meant something more to the players. Because if you have a player, right, who, let's say, now we're seeing a lot younger players start like when they're 16, 15, 16. But let's say a player, moves up to the first team and gets onto the national team at like 19, right? He probably has like 2 or 3 World Cups in his like prime, you know what I mean? To really like win it. And I'm like, sometimes it sucks because it's like, man, you see a lot of great players that probably just don't get the amount of time or chances in the World Cup to win it, So I was like, it'd be cool to see like every 2 years just that multitude of multiple chances to actually win the tournament. But then the only counter I see is just the value of like saying like, all right, well, if you got more chances to win the World Cup, then it's like a lot more people start winning and the value goes down.
Yeah.
Of it, so. So I just want to see what y'all's opinion on it was because
I like my 4 years. I remember, like speaking about the time and all that stuff. It was such a hard time for me to wake up and just watch these games because I remember last year when we were watching the first game of Argentina.
Yeah.
We woke up at like 5 a.m. and we woke up just in time for Messi to score that penalty against Saudi Arabia. But we were like,
yawning.
Go you!
Yeah, dude. Struggling for real.
Struggling. So I was like, I could not do that for every single game. And like, I try to show my support, but I got work.
Yeah.
So I gotta get my 8 hours in. So, but I mean, speaking of the World Cup and like players from the World Cup, Messi,
the
guy playing MLS, playing Leagues Cup. He hasn't really officially played MLS just yet, but he competed in the Leagues Cup.
And for those who don't know, Leagues Cup is it's still fairly new. So
yeah,
it's basically the Liga MX plays MLS, which Liga MX is the Mexican version of MLS, and they play against each other in like a knockout tournament, see who wins.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was Nashville and Inter Miami in that final, and it was actually a pretty entertaining game.
It was.
I didn't realize how like good Nashville was.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, they have one of the best like.
Hani Mukhtar, their number 10. He's
Yeah.
like the reigning guy for the MVP. It's gonna be Messi now, but he, I think, along with Carlos Gil from New England Revolution, quote, like, fact check me if you can, but them two are the leading candidates for the MVP, with Hani Mukhtar being like the top. And I think he was MVP last year.
I didn't know Zimmerman was the captain for Nashville either. I was like, what?
Yeah, he's a good defender.
Yeah, but it was like Mukhtar. He was actually like giving me anxiety attacks because he was actually putting a lot of pressure on the defense. Like that turn, in the last play where he almost scored or gave that assist to that one player, that was crazy. I thought they were actually gonna win.
I was gonna say Mukhtar.
Yeah.
He's first, and then
Acosta second.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so it's if I remember correctly, it's Hani Mukhtar, it's Acosta, and then it's Carlos Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Messi with that goal, typical Messi, man, ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean the game like literally went down to like Inter Miami almost scoring in like the last play
That
of the
was
game, like the
crazy.
literally last play
That
of the
was
game coming off the
insane.
post. I was just
Dude, I was falling asleep just because we were tired from that workout, that we did. And all I remember was waking up to Campana. It was like,
But
and then,
like,
bro,
imagine if they and the thing is I was thinking too. I was like, of course,
technical difficulties.
the haters are hating right now.
But dude, while Jalen fixes his,
Okay,
his
I'm back,
microphone,
I'm
you
back,
good?
I'm back. Yeah.
All right.
It was. I was thinking. I was like in like of course Messi fashion. It has to go down to PKs, bro.
PKs.
And I'm like, why do you? My heart can't take this.
People
anymore.
were saying scripted. The reason why it's like that's because it's
Because
scripted.
scripted. I would say yeah, but bro, when you have like when you're almost scoring like literally. This is the difference between at the end of the game scoring and not scoring. Is like, come on, bro, you really.
Sometimes I think hitting the post is harder than scoring. So you're gonna tell me that's scripted?
That's like
There's no
when
way.
the Women's World Cup game when
Sorry, Ronaldo fans.
there you go, bro.
Thinks
Irrelevant. Yeah,
Say it louder.
It's like, bro, hitting the post is much harder than actually scoring a goal sometimes. And in that fashion that he did it, like at first when I saw like Campana make the run and he lifted it over the keeper, I thought he scuffed the shot.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, no way that was your shot. And then I see him
didn't
like
see the
kind of
vision.
like, yeah, I didn't see it. And then I see him kind of go crazy. And if you go back to the recording, I think he had a chance to stop the ball, reposition himself and shoot. Like he was miles, like the defender was miles behind him.
Oh,
the defender slipped and kind of like over, like he had to jump over him, so it kind of slowed him down a little bit. So the ball just kept rolling, and that's how it just.
He definitely had a chance to like stop the ball, reposition, and score, and he could end the game.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw a different angle today, and it literally looked like he tried. I mean, it looked like he tried.
And he did pretty well getting that ball over the keeper, but like I said, like the defender just slipped or something like that, and he was kind of like slowed down a bit.
Part, huh?
Yeah, that's the scripted part, pretty much.
They paid him big bucks.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
Overall, it was good.
And PK, like they went everybody all the way to the keepers.
Oh yeah, that to me too.
Drake Callender, he's the reason why Miami's also.
Yeah,
he'll be in the Premier League soon.
I'm about to say Chelsea signed the wrong keeper.
Nah.
Where's that jersey?
Let me ask you this now. Let me ask you this, because this has been on my mind for a little bit now. Is about Messi coming to the MLS now. Is this good or is this bad? Is this a good look for MLS or is this a bad look for MLS? Knowing that a player is Messi that good or is MLS that bad?
I would say yes. I would say it's good and bad. I would say it's good because, one, yes, Messi is that good. Like, personally, I'm not just being a Messi fan in the sense when I say if Ronaldo did the same, did this, if Ronaldo came to Inter Miami, do I think the same outcome would have happened? No, because I think there's a lot more that goes into it where it comes to leadership, when it comes to play style, when it comes to just being a persona. Mm-hmm. I think Messi is in a whole different category when it comes to having all those attributes that take a team like Inter Miami. Granted, we don't know where they're going to be at with the MLS league and coming from the bottom to where they'll end up. Mm-hmm. But going into Leagues Cup before Messi, no one had a thought like, oh yeah, Miami's going to win that at all. So it's like, I think it's good. I will say like MLS is they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot because they're making everything about Messi. So like even when Inter Miami won, they're like, oh, Messi's Inter Miami or Messi did this. And I get like he's such a pivotal change for that. But I do think that they're kind of taking away too much of the limelight from the league itself. And it's just hyper focusing on Messi, which, I mean, he's the greatest player probably in the world. So it's like it's going to happen. But I do think that I think it's good because we get to learn. The MLS gets to watch, and I think it also gives us perspective of saying, okay, wow, he's the greatest player in the world, but the difference from where everybody else is, you can really gauge. You can see, okay, we have the best player in the world playing in MLS. Now we know, the whole MLS knows where they have to go, or they know what the difference is, whether it's a big difference, or there's some players that are like our top players still can't touch him. You know what I'm saying? So I think it goes hand in hand, but I think overall, I think it is still a very good thing to have Messi in the MLS and for the growth and the outlook of MLS.
So. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I kind of disagree with the whole Ronaldo. I think if Ronaldo came to the MLS, he'd also be dominating. Also, there's the age gap a little bit, between Ronaldo and Messi. They're not the same age. I think they're like 2-3 years. 2 years. Yes, there's a little bit of an age gap. And I'm a Messi fan. I'm not just like trying to stand up for Ronaldo or whatever. But I think he's still a quality player, and he's been tearing it up in the Saudi league right now.
Yeah, of course.
He's been scoring goals, winning championships, winning trophies. Mm-hmm. So I think he could very much do it in the MLS, no problem. And I think it's good for the league. I think it's good for the sport in the U.S. Like I see it in the grand scheme of things. Like now, people that weren't so invested in soccer are like, oh my God, the best player in the world is here, so gotta go see him. Kids are wanting to go see him, and every game that Messi's playing in is sold out. So I think it's great for the league, but I also agree with you in the sense that they're hyper fixating on like Messi, everything's about him, and I get it. But also there's other players who are like Hani Mukhtar deserves credit for that game as much as Messi does. Even though he didn't score, he tore that defense apart. Nashville did their thing against Inter, and they deserve credit because they went against the best player in the world.
To bring it to the penalty shootout,
and going all the way into the end. You know what I mean? Like,
and to credit too, even on Inter Miami, like it's not just Messi. Like you have other players that have really picked up their slack, and like they're the reason.
Calendar, Taylor, and I mean even Busquets and Jordi, they're not getting the shine that they deserve. They're supposed to get because of Messi, and like. Yeah, like he's the best player in the world, but also they got Busquets, they got Jordi Alba, they got Calendar, who's been the best keeper in the league before Messi. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. I look at it's a good thing, but you're right about like it's bad because we are picturing Messi as like the main guy, but like I look at Inter Miami as the Barcelona 2.0. Yeah. Like Taylor is David Villa. And then what's his name? The youngster, the 18-year-old. I forget his name.
Cremachi?
Cremachi, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Benjamin.
He might play for the U.S. too. But yeah, he's looking real good out there too. Like everybody's stepping up, but because of Messi. But it's not just Messi, also Busquets. Like the player, like the defenders are learning a lot from Jordi Alba and all that stuff. And then Drake Calendars look like Ter Stegen out there for Miami. So it's like it's nice for me to watch because it's just like it's bringing me back to the old days of Barcelona. Yeah. But it's also like, hey man, like now it's time to really step up for MLS all around and understand like, okay, Inter Miami is here to play and also try to win that playoff spot. I don't think they're gonna make the playoff spot. Yeah. But I think it's a good thing for MLS right now at the moment. I mean, Saudi Arabia, they're bringing a lot. Saudi Arabia is looking more competitive than it is like before.
That's the thing is I wish I could see more. I wish they were much easier to watch their games because like I have to really go through the works just to see a game. But I mean, what I have seen is like they are pretty competitive too. I would say like especially the number kind of personally irks me that like they bring so many. They got so much money. They bring so many good players that it's like they are definitely going to quickly advance that league so much more. And I'm like, man, which is good. I love that more places are getting the competition, but. I was like, man.
It's just it reminds me of the PSG Madrid days when they bring in like a bunch of players because they have the money, but they just don't mesh together. Yeah. Sometimes these players they're all quality, but they might not mesh together like Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. They didn't mesh together well at PSG when Zidane, Ronaldo, Figo, Beckham were all on one team. Yep. They didn't win the Champions League at all. So I kind of feel like that's the same situation that's going to happen down because it's all just coming too quickly, and they just expect everything so fast. Like for instance, Ronaldo, like they're back-to-back losses already in the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. So it's like, where are you? What's going on with that situation? Where is it just because he's too old, or is Saudi Arabia actually a competitive league?
That's what I was saying. I would love to watch more of their games because like. That's why I haven't really been able to speak on like any of that side. Like I see the outcomes, but I don't get to actually watch like
the style of play, how they're moving.
I have to watch really highlights, but it's like I'm not really reading the game this way.
It's way different. So I would love to be able to watch more because I would, especially now that more players are there. I want to see how it meshes.
I want to see Neymar.
Yeah, especially someone posted the other day. It was like a clip from the like a Brazilian charity. Match, and they were like, "Oh, this is Neymar's debut on his team." So it was so bad.
I remember, I saw
he was just scoring left and right. I have a friend. He doesn't watch anything, any football stuff. Shout out Jonathan, but he texted me. He was like, "Man, Neymar's getting paid to do nothing out there." I was like, "That's not real. Don't believe that." But
let's talk about.
What's your
I saw this on Twitter, and I thought it would be interesting maybe to hear what you guys have to say because I heard on Twitter there's this thing called
nobody told me.
Drop an unpopular football opinion that people will have you at gunpoint.
Right now?
Yeah, drop an unpopular.
Man, I wish you.
I gotta come up with it. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean if you have one already on the spot, like that's cool.
I think I've already said a few. Unpopular.
Like for instance, this was on Twitter when they said drop an unpopular football opinion. They said we're more likely to see another Messi than another Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh my god, I hate Ronaldo fans so much, bro. Oh god, I hate Ronaldo fans.
In what like? I need more context. I know they probably can't provide it.
Are we gonna see another great?
Like we're more likely to see what Messi has done his whole career rather than Ronaldo.
Not when Messi already has done more than Ronaldo.
I think
I mean, not more than Messi, but like equal.
I think they're
what
talking
Messi's
about
done.
like style of play, leader, like everything that Messi encompasses. And to be honest, I disagree because
definitely unpopular.
Ronaldo, Mbappe's the closest thing to Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So no, I disagree.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there another one? Give us another. Let's just run down.
Let's see what people are saying.
Okay.
Because I can't think of one. One of my favorite conspiracy theories is that like Alvaro Morata is like someone that you like clubs kind of like toss and turn when they need a striker.
That's so messed.
That's sad.
Because think about it, he was at Chelsea, then he
him
played.
out.
He was in Madrid, then Chelsea, then he was at Atletico, then went to Juve. You know, they've been jumping around. That was
Okay.
one of my favorite conspiracy theories.
Here's another one. Julian Alvarez is greater than Erling Haaland.
I will say that I wouldn't think that that's as unpopular just because I've heard people say that Haaland has no depth as far as like ability, whereas Julian Alvarez does. So I would.
Here's the
see
thing.
that through. That can let him cook a little bit.
Here's the thing. I don't necessarily disagree, but if Julian Alvarez were to go to another team, he's still not putting 36 goals like Haaland did.
Now, granted, okay, so
I think it's a system thing.
okay, so you're saying if
Now, if
Haaland
you take
went to
Wait, so
Like-
you're saying he's not going to be... How many goals he scored last year? Like
he scored 36.
who Haaland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, but Alvarez.
Oh, Alvarez? Oh, I don't know, but he also didn't play every game.
Yeah, because you got to think too. He was playing under.
But that's what I'm saying. But people just think since Haaland's just bagging goals, I'm not going to start their player Julian Alvarez because he's just not going to do the same thing. Yet he was the one that scored the winner against Newcastle this past weekend.
And it was a golazo.
And it was
And
a goal. It was
Haaland
quality.
didn't do
And
jack
every,
anything.
and every goal that I've seen Julian Alvarez score for Man City has not been a tap in, has not been
No,
just a.
that's why I'm saying it depends on the team because I definitely do think he would be a star player.
He would definitely put more than 15 goals in there, for sure.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have 36. Like Haaland would still have.
But that's like saying though, like okay, but out of Haaland's goals, right? Which like you're saying are tap-ins. If he's not on Man City, is he getting that amount of goals?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
So what team do you see him going and doing that to? Any team?
Alvarez?
Haaland?
Yeah, Haaland.
I mean, obviously, he's not going to do it at Bournemouth. Sorry, like Bournemouth.
So if he
You know
starts
what I
for Chelsea, he's doing that?
mean? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
We're spamming crosses all the time.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, he could have had a hat trick based on.
Crosses don't go anywhere, but
That's not true.
That's not
our
true.
crosses?
I'll show you the video right now.
Bro, you don't need to.
Look
Trust
at
me, I
look at
watched
that.
the
The
game.
crosses that you guys had that game, that would have been a tap in for.
That would have been 3 tap-ins.
to-
Now, he
for
would have had a
Haaland.
hat trick on the
Yeah.
crosses alone from this
Listen.
game. So yes, 100%. Maybe not 36 because we don't have a De Bruyne feeding you the
That's
ball,
what
a
I'm saying.
Foden.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
would have
That's
had
where I'm coming from.
20
So,
plus.
He at Man City, he's
Okay,
getting
but 36
fed.
is an insane amount. Like that's
Right, but that's what we're talking about. That's the standard we're talking about.
that's a standard, bro.
His
36
standard,
goals?
yes.
No.
That's, bro, he
Yeah,
said
he's
that by
having-
himself.
He's having more than 20 goals. Yes, at Chelsea.
Interesting. Here's the next one. Next.
One more.
Yeah, one more. Let's see. Let's see if you guys want to end with this one. Gareth Bale had a better career than Neymar Jr.
Facts.
Facts?
Yeah.
I'd say so too.
He buried it himself.
Yeah.
Neymar screwed himself with that transfer for real. Like,
You want to do one more?
yeah,
Yeah, do one more because that was
Okay.
an easy.
Yeah.
That was a
Hold on.
no-brainer.
Give me a spicy one. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm trying to look right now.
I want to see it.
Okay, I mean, this one is weird. CR7 isn't the second best player ever.
CR7
Yeah, Ronaldo.
is not the second.
Is not the second best player in the world. But who's first?
Who's first? Best
Yeah.
player in the world overall?
Yeah, or like in history.
Ever.
Ever. So, okay, actually, here, I have an unpopular opinion. Because this kind of coincides. I was going to ask you guys this after Messi won the
Yeah.
cup. It kind of goes to, like, the whole Jordan, like, LeBron thing. But, like, so if you have Pele, right, playing, and you have Messi playing. Two different eras of ball. Are you still saying, like, is Pele better than Messi?
No. You're saying no?
I don't know.
I say no.
I personally, I would say no. I would say just because I feel like I don't. Granted, I didn't see. Of course, I wasn't alive when Pele was doing his thing like that, but I just don't think the competition is there to do what you know what I mean. It's kind of like with Jordan to now. LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, is he doing? Is he gonna be doing that in this era?
I mean,
competition.
I mean,
Was he the greatest at his time? Yes, but I think overall, no.
let me ask you this: it's like, well, no, 'cause you weren't there. It's just because like when I watched The Last Dance, I saw the episode where like Michael Jordan was getting his ass beat to the ground, and I really didn't see any videos of Pele getting like beat down and all that stuff. So it's like, was he just untouchable, or was it just like soccer was not as aggressive and competitive as it was back then?
That's what I think is. It's just not as like it wasn't as.
I feel like back then it was just like, oh, tip tap Telio, like let's go play, let's go play stuff.
Cheerio. You guys are running circles around us. I don't think it was that bad, but I just don't think like obviously it's constantly evolving. So I think now that to do it now is like.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think Messi is the best to ever do it. But that's because I am the main character, and this is my life, and this is all I've seen. You know what I mean? So that's why Messi is the best. You know, I
mean,
can't say.
I agree that Ronaldo's not the second best player.
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree.
So in this era, or like
ever.
ever.
Yeah.
So you would say Messi and then Pele, or Messi?
I would say Messi, and then Ronaldinho.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
list. That's kind of why I asked you guys that day. I was like, "What's your
I'll take that.
favorite top
I'll take
three?"
that.
Yours was pretty on par. Like,
I'll take that.
with mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was yours? You didn't text your top three.
Oh, I was asleep by the time. Nah, I was.
Yours
Shout out to Nacho.
Yeah.
he put us in his top three of best players
Yeah.
ever.
I was first.
Yeah.
I was the best player.
I
man.
was like, I was a little hurt by that, but I was like,
Hey.
whatever.
Yeah, I think I want Messi, Ronaldinho, and then man. For some reason, I'm thinking like Zidane, man. Like Zidane. Was
That's
like,
not a bad one.
That's not
Like
that
Zidane
one.
was really.
Yeah. He put Iniesta.
It's like
right?
I like the fact that Zidane, and I'm not gonna go on a Zidane tangent, but like his moves were so like simple, but you just can't take the ball from him. And that to me, that's my favorite thing. Like I want to dribble like Ronaldinho, but the fact I could probably like between the two, I'm much more closest to Zidane when I play because I'm not very like. I want to hold the ball and stuff like that. Like I'm not saying I'm like Zidane. Relax. I'm not saying I'm Zidane. But I'm saying if I
put his head through someone's chest.
If I were sometimes
That's why you like.
I want to kick him in the chest. But like I'm saying, like if I could compare to any of the two, probably Zidane because he's not like yes he has those moves, but when I see the videos on like Champions League, he's like dominating by doing quick turns and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Ronaldinho's doing elásticos and things like that, and it's just
I love
insane. So
This one we don't have to
simple
answer,
game.
but I just want to close it off on this.
Sure.
They said Drogba is better than Kane.
Yeah. Well,
Food for thought. I just had to leave it off on Chelsea. So.
you think you agree with that?
Um.
I think Kane's the best striker in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's why he wears Skechers.
Yeah.
Those are hard, kind of, ish.
He's only saying that because he wears Skechers.
I don't wear
No, this
Skechers,
guy
bro.
wears-
Oh, he wears Skechers. Yeah, he does wear Skechers.
When I run,
Yeah.
don't put me. All right, guys, that's the end of the show, guys. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch you next week.
See y'all, man.
All right,
Thank you.
Hey,
Take care.
appreciate
Like,
it.
subscribe. See y'all next week.